When I say Bo, you say Nix. Bo,
Ner.
Bo.
Ner.
When I say Bo, you say Nix. Bo,
Ner.
Bo.
Ner.
Actually, that tracks.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up.
That chant is inspired by yours truly. I actually started a chant leaving the stadium on Sunday, yelling "Boner, Boner," and hundreds of people chimed in. There were children, but we didn't care. It was fine. Patrick, what's up, man? I don't know if you've been watching the Broncos recently, but yeah, I think it's safe to say that Bo Nix is giving all of Broncos country boners. How are you feeling after Sunday?
Man, we got one, dude. Did it feel good? Does it feel nice to like do mock drafts and think like, oh man, what am I going to pick in the first round? Not fucking quarterback. It feels great, dude.
Well,
Yes,
and it's nice to do mock drafts and not think that so much is riding on it. You know,
yeah,
it's almost like the mock drafts we're doing now. It's like, yeah, let's add some weapons, let's add some pieces, but this is a 6-5 team that seems destined to make the playoffs in what was supposed to be a rebuilding year, and here we are. So, like, I feel like this time last year, Pat, we're doing mock drafts because it's like, all right, we need to figure out this team's future, and we need to do it quick.
yeah,
Now we
well,
have the future. All
yeah,
you have to do, like, this is the point of having a great quarterback. You build around him.
yeah,
It's what the Bengals have done, the Bills have done, the Chiefs have done, the Ravens have done. All of the elite teams that are perennial contenders who have found that quarterback, they're approaching the draft as we can build around this guy. And they finally have a guy to build around for the first time in God knows how long.
yeah. And I mean, it's supposed to be a rebuild year, and they're still rebuilding. Don't get me wrong, but they're rebuilding using all the bricks from us being bricked up by watching them. I mean, this is just like what Sean Payton and what Bo Nix and the rest of the staff is doing is absolutely phenomenal. Taking the talent level that they have right now, and yeah, like the season's not over. There's still going to be some ugly games. I fear, probably one or two more ugly games that we'll see. It happens. But like taking the talent level, this is a team that people said was going to only win 5.5 games. So if you bet
That
that
was the
over,
over under. Yeah.
if you
Hammer
bet that
the
over
over.
like I did, hey, congratulations! Like you won. Like this was a team that was labeled as the worst roster in the NFL by PFF. This is a team that
Doing pretty good. This scrappy little team's doing pretty good, Pat, for
you know
being
what
so bad.
for being the worst roster in the NFL. 6-5, 11 games in, not bad. I'll take that.
Not bad. Not
And I
bad.
mean, I texted you after the game. I said, man, we got to start pulling those clips of us saying that this team's ceiling was like 10 wins, right? Because that's kind of where it feels like. There's still some games left, but that 10-win mark is like so realistic right now that it's like, oh man, were we kind of looking into the crystal ball a little bit? Probably.
Well, Pat, remember we got grief in the chat, Pat, when we said that. And we try to be as realistic as possible. Like, obviously, we're Bronco fans, and our expectations are always going to be maybe higher than the typical analyst. But we are also analysts of this game. Like, we break things down. Like, we are fans, but we are more than just fans. Not to undermine anybody. We're not going to come out and say something like their ceiling is 10, 11 wins if it's not,
We don't
if it's
feel
not
like
something
those
that we truly believe in. And what was the contingency that we put on that, Pat? We said this team can win double-digit games
Yeah.
if Bo Nix progresses. Bo Nix is progressing week to week, and this should be a double-digit win team. So shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us since day one, because this should not come as a surprise to you.
No.
Like you said, Pat, we opened the doors and we showed everybody the crystal ball and we told them exactly what was going to happen. And again, not to undermine fans, but like we're not just fans. Like we're putting our credibility out there. I know we like to be goofy and silly, and we're definitely going to do some goofy, silly shit early, like later on. Like, dude, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But we're also not going to say something that's going to undermine our credibility and our integrity. We said that because it was true. And now turns out we were right.
I mean, look, Patrick Mahomes threw for 217 against this same defense. I'm just saying, like all the people that are like, oh, well,
and they needed a bailout call to beat that team. I'm just saying.
It's just the Falcons. It's just the Falcons. Like, brother, please, I'm begging you. Go look at their record. Like they're giving some teams the business. This was a top 5 offensive team coming into this game. I mean, and I felt the same.
That was only the second time that a quarterback has thrown over 300 yards against that defense, and the other guy was Baker Mayfield.
Technically, Bo threw for 295. Technically,
no, it was 302.
Technically, he threw for 295, but I digress. But like, this is the problem with analyzing things in this way. It's like, well, they only beat the Falcons, or he only beat it's the Falcons. Of course, he's going to throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Well, like not a lot of other teams have done that. Like not a lot of other quarterbacks have performed that way against this really bad defense. And yeah, they're a bad defense, sure, but like they've still been in games all season long. What the fuck are we talking about? Bo Nix had like a historic game in terms of passer rating. Literally, Zach Seegers pointed it out. Better than the 7-touchdown Peyton Manning game. Are you fucking kidding me? That's insane quarterback play. Like so many firsts for a rookie quarterback. So many firsts for a Broncos quarterback. Let's stop trying to undermine everything that this kid does just because pre-draft you had him as the fucking 9th quarterback on your quarterback board that nobody gives a fuck about. Like, let's just stop. Let's stop with this narrative bullshit and just look at what Bo Nix is doing on a week-by-week basis. Is he going to have ugly games? Sure. But the fact is, like, the ugliest game that he had is so far behind him, and every single game since that ugly game has been better. He's improving week by week. We see it. We talk about it in the chat all the time. Oh, his footwork looks really good on this. Oh, he's looking safeties off. Oh, he's making big time throws. These are not things that we were saying early on in the season. So this kid is growing right before our eyes. And it's so amazing to see the Broncos finally have a franchise quarterback. Thank God. Thank fucking God. But now, where do we go from here? That's the question.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that is a good question. Where do we go from here? Since apparently it's, trendy to still admonish Bo and kind of throw him under the bus and make it seem like what he's doing isn't that great. We're going to steer into that skid, Pat. I told you we were going to do some goofy shit. Here's the goofy shit. The way that I promoted this show on Twitter and Blue Sky was by saying that what Bo Nix did wasn't good enough. Why, Pat? Still threw 5 incompletions. 5 incompletions and only 4 touchdowns? How do you not have more touchdowns and incompletions? Because he did at halftime. So what we're going to do, since we like to bring you some film study throughout these shows, is we are going to show you every incompletion and why Bo Nix needs to be better. Because this is what we're doing now, Pat. We are just going to steer completely into this skid. Because anybody that's trying to say that Bo Nix has not arrived, is not the guy, or still has some sort of issue with Bo Nix, we are going to point out how ridiculous they are, and we are going to overanalyze the 5 incompletions that he threw on Sunday. First up.
This is the first one of the game. This is the first one of the game, baby. Okay? I mean, this is what I'm talking about here. This kid's a rookie quarterback. How the hell are you going to go out there and have more incompletions than you have touchdowns? What the hell, Bo? I thought the game was slowing down. I thought the game was slowing down for this kid. Apparently not. Apparently it's too much. Okay. Broncos come out here. This is what we would call tray. Like, so you can call it trips, whatever, but this is tray. Your tight end's in line, and then you've got two receivers over here. Your back's in the backfield, and you've got a solo on the front top side. Okay. They're going to run it. This looks like stick to me. This is just stick. So you're going to have a little stick route here. If the linebacker plays the inside, tight end's just going to run this out. This guy has an auto out. This guy is clear. Okay. And then backside is normally just what we would call wide receiver rules. So if he's pressed, you're gone. Okay. If he's 5 to 7 off, if he's 5 off, you're running a slant. If he's 7 off, you're running a hitch. If he's kind of, like it's an option route essentially for this wide receiver up here. But it looks like he just took the hitch. And then the running back is going to just kind of leak out here into the middle. Don't know what the fuck you're doing here, Bo. What the hell is this? Just limp dicking a little throw about 3-4 yards? What the hell? What a bust. Look at this. I mean, what is this throwing motion right here? Can we talk about this?
This is not a rep that an NFL quarterback makes, Patrick. Now, if you're going to be a quarterback in the NFL, you can't do shit like this.
What I really appreciate here from Bo Nix is the throwing motion into the incompletion, because you look at it and he's here, and then this ball is all the way up here, right? I mean, he looks like he's gonna fucking launch this thing 30 yards downfield. That bitch is all the way back here, and then it just goes right into the dirt. We throw it right into the dirt. He said,
"You can't throw it into the dirt, Pat. That's called an incompletion."
Javonte Williams, buddy, we only gave you 1 carry in Kansas City for a reason, all right? Not a fucking chance I'm giving you a completion. Into the dirt it goes. Okay, but let's cut the goofy shit. This is a good example of Bo kind of learning and stepping up. We get a nice little pump fake. Okay, the linebacker is covering the stick very well. The out on the stick is covered very well. This is good coverage by Atlanta. Probably the best rep that they had all fucking day. Okay.
Probably the only good rep they had.
Now, Bo Nix, week 1, week 2, he's standing back here and he's probably floating back into this space. Okay. And what does he do? He steps up. He tries to find work. His eyes are still downfield, something that is very well noted in his scouting profile. If you paid attention before the draft, keeps his eyes downfield, and he's just trying to make something happen. Now, I don't love the decision to throw the ball here. I don't love it. The OC in me is saying, buddy, just fucking take off and go. Like, you've got much green space right here. Okay. But we do see him later in the game make a nice little throw to Cortland Sutton off a broken RPO. That shows his kind of broken play creation abilities, right? And that's kind of what you want. What I would love to note is, boy, if he held on to that ball for another half tick, and he looks up and sees old buddy Nate old buddy, who is that? Kroll?
That's Adkins. Kroll? Is that Kroll or Adkins?
No, that's Kroll. That's Kroll. 85.
Is that the best fullback on the team, Adkins, or is that tight end 3 Kroll?
That's Lucas Kroll right here. But if he holds on for a tick, boy, Landman's eyes are inside. He could have just floated this right into space right here, because this guy, the robber, comes down and just vacates this whole space. Nice little seam there, but ends as an incompletion. Whatever. What a stupid play. What a dumb play by this guy.
It's inexcusable, Pat.
It really is.
How are Bronco fans supposed to be excited about a guy who throws incompletions against the Atlanta Falcons? This is ridiculous.
Now this is some real sicko shit by Sean Payton. Okay, we get quads. This is Troutman, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Cortland Sutton, and presumably this is Jaleel McLaughlin up here. Okay. This is quads to the wide side of the field. This is some real sicko shit. Okay. Normally you'll see it in like a little bunch. They kind of do have a little bunch right here. And then they've got the back out here. Okay. Let's just let it run.
Where are you going, Bo?
Yeah.
What is happening here?
So we get slot fade, which means we have an auto hitch outside. Auto hitch because we want to pull this corner and we want to hold him here. We get the slot fade, so he's gonna push vertical, maybe a little jab step inside, work outside. We're gonna restack the DB up here. Okay, we get a little sit by Lil Jordan Humphrey just to consume the middle of the field. Okay, Troutman is also gonna run a sit just to try and hold this defender right here. This is just a clear out by Bailey. I honestly don't know where Bo Nix is going here. Because what we should be reading is the leverage of the slot fade. Okay. So if we're looking, we look. Okay. He's pumping. They're trying to run a double move here with Bailey. It doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. That's fine. But we got to move off of it. Look at his eyes. He's still looking at the corner, but he gets pressure. And we'll look at it from the tight.
And real quick, Pat, right here, what Bo needs to do is recognize that the rush is coming up the middle, spin back out towards his left, roll out to his left, and hit his emergency receiver out here in the flat. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, Bo is a good enough athlete to be able to do this. And if we're ever going to win a Super Bowl, then you can't just be throwing balls away because you get a little bit of pressure in your face. Save the play, make a miraculous rollout to your left, and make a play. Well, we can't have things like this happen.
Well, I mean, we watched it. Look, if this was Russell Wilson, okay, I'll show you the exact moment where Russell Wilson bails this pocket. Okay, I will show all of you the exact moment. Okay.
Russell Wilson is fumbling on this play.
Here we go. Right now. Bailed. Gone. He's out of the pocket. Either this way or this way.
He sees that stunt on the near side here, and he's like, oh, God.
Now
he's cooked right there.
Now, what we can say, and this is how I would coach this up to Bo. But
Atomic has a good point here, Pat. I don't know why we drafted a white quarterback. Lamar definitely makes that play.
What are we doing here? I quick note. I remember the Lamar draft, and I remember being like, "Oh my God, how is Lamar Jackson still on the board?" Like, we're getting to the end of the first round. I'm like, "How the fuck is he still on the board?" And I was like, "Man, if the Broncos trade up, if the Broncos traded up and got Lamar Jackson." Dude, it was on my wish list so bad. I think that's the year
I was praying for it.
I think that's the year
I was praying for it, Pat. No, that was the Chubb draft.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was the Chubb draft.
Yeah,
and that was I think 2 years after that.
I would have been fine with a trade down. Take Lamar. We're set. We're set for eternity. So my coaching note for Bo is: look. I understand that we have a double move, but if we get pressure, and you have to see that stunt coming, right? You can see it. You're looking that way. You can see this guy coming across. Okay. Now, I don't know what Ben Powers is doing here. I don't know.
Best.
I don't know, but look at his eyes. He he sees it coming. And then he's just kind of lollipop. Get your fucking ass over there. Get a move on. What are you doing?
Patrick,
what are you waiting for?
Pat, we are not calling out offensive linemen during this segment. We are calling out Bo. Let's stay on target here.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I would tell Bo, look, the double move isn't there. Get your eyes back across quick. Find something else. Okay, we cannot be stuck on this for too long. If the corner if he bit down hard, that's one thing. But now we're stuck in a situation. Yes, roll back to your left, sure. But who knows, right? Who knows if he can do that?
Bo knows.
Bo
It's
knows.
something that he's capable of doing. He needs to do it. He's done more fantastical things than
has.
rolling to his left.
Now, what I will say that I appreciate, throws the ball away, gets it out of harm's way. We live to see another down. That's good. I'll take that.
Still an incompletion. Still
Still
can't
an
have it.
incompletion. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Idiot. You dumb, stupid idiot. Dumb moron. Fucking dumbass. Let's look at it from the tight here.
Whoa, hold on. I know we're admonishing Bo, but that was a terrible snap. As long as we're on Watt watch here, Pat.
Oh, we're on Watt and watch. And this is a play where Watt and watch comes into play because, as Frankie so duly noted, this team, and I tweeted about this last week as well, when Wattenberg is playing center, this team is a little more susceptible to stunts and twists and things like that. Just because Wattenberg's eyes, I don't know what the deal is, but like he's super passive in pass pro. Super passive. And
his eyes are too close together. Are his eyes too close together?
But what does that mean, Mario? What does it mean to be too passive in pass pro? It means that you're not looking for work. Look for work, man. Like, you can use your eyes. You've got 1, 2, 3 here. You know it's 1, 2, 3. Okay? We've got one here. This guy's kind of creeping in the box. This guy's creeping down. We got to be able to use our eyes. Got to keep our head on a swivel, right? Now, they're only going to bring, let's count it, team, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. So hence Power's eyes getting back across. Buddy, get a fucking move on. Get your ass over here. You know that Wattenberg's not going to be able to see this shit. You know that. Get your fucking ass over there. Now, Wattenberg does get
real quick, let me just show everyone a picture of Wattenberg here. His eyes aren't even open. Like his eyes are too close together. Of course he does. He has no peripheral vision. You can't expect him to be seeing anything.
This is an area where Alex Forsythe has really shown in the past. He's really good about passing blocks off. Quinn's kind of put in an awkward spot here. Maybe we count this as a defensive hold. I don't know, but this is unacceptable. This right here, this is unacceptable. 1v2 and the guy still gets through. Oh, buddy, I know Zach Strief was having a fucking day in the film room today, just chewing them out.
Yeah, a little bit of a Zach Strief meltdown happening here.
Stop eating so many goddamn Uncrustables, Luke, and get your fucking eyes checked, please. For the love of God, that's just pathetic. That is pathetic effort. And it's bad QB or bad O-line play. Okay.
I know that we're holding Bo to a high standard here, and that's the theme. But in all honesty, it's very difficult to put any blame on him in that play.
No,
bad snap, bad protection, couldn't handle the stunt. I will give Bo a pass.
Yeah.
Still should have been better. Still should have rolled out. Still should have made a play. But
on to number
the line did him no favors there.
Now, this is
incompletion number 3.
This is as much as I want to put this on. No, let's stick with the silliness. Okay.
Gotta throw a more catchable ball, Pat. He's gotta throw a more catchable ball. Listen, more anticipatory reads here.
I know it was right here. Okay. But buddy, we gotta put that right here. Okay. It was right here. We gotta put it right here. All right.
Right
you're about
this is too high. This is just right.
6 inches too high there. It hit him right in the fucking hands. Okay.
Well, and some people think that 6 inches is a lot, but some people think that 6 inches isn't that much. It really just depends on who you talk to.
I showed my wife this exact play. She said, honestly, it looks around the same to me. I said, I know.
I thought you were going to say that you showed your wife 6 inches.
Buddy, chill. Okay.
Around.
Okay. Yeah, in a circle.
We'll be picked up later.
Yeah. This is a nice concept, honestly, from Sean Payton. And we talked last week about how Sean Payton's been using jumbo personnel and really making teams commit to to playing run defense against this look. This is Matt Pert, right? Peart. Excuse me. I fucking hate that. This is Matt Peart right here. Okay, so this
you
is
hate the pronunciation of
yes,
his name?
it's Pert. Matt Pert.
Just call
That's
him
what I
Matt
see.
Pert. He doesn't watch the show. It's fine.
So I love this
Call
because
him Matt Pearte. It doesn't matter.
I love this because we get jumbo personnel in a bunch look, a condensed bunch jumbo. This is just stupid. This is ridiculous work here. Okay. And this is Marvin Mims. We're gonna get a little chip and shallow here. We're gonna get a little cross here, and then we're gonna get a clear out here at the bottom. Okay, we're max protect. The back is still in here. Pert, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He's over here. He's blocking Garrett Bowles clearly in his GB zone, just standing around. GB zone. GB zone.
GB zone. My GB zone. By the way, Garrett definitely watches the show because ever since we talked shit about him and told him he needs to pull his head out of his ass, he has.
For the most part, except for that one play that I will never forgive him on. This was a great play by Jesse Bates, a really bad play by Adam Troutman. Buddy, you got to catch that fucking ball. You cannot catch the ball for him.
It's got to be a more catchable ball.
This is a perfect throw. Perfect throw by Bo Nix. It's 3rd and 3. This is I can't remember what week it was. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. We were talking about how they don't really have these concepts to move the sticks. Right on 3rd down, he was kind of calling these concepts that really didn't make a whole lot of sense. And this is one of those concepts that really does make sense. So what Troutman's going to do is he's going to read this defender right here. If this defender is backing out,
this is a choice route then.
I mean, yes and no. Like each route has rules. Okay, so what you may think is a choice route, it's really just your rules. Okay, if it's like for mesh, the rule on mesh is if it's man, keep going. Okay, if it's zone, go through your mesh, sit down.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of those instances where Troutman's going to read it and he's just going to sit down. This is a 1st down. And look at where it hits him. Boy, howdy, right in the fucking numbers. Just a beautiful ball. Catch the fucking ball and tuck it. Bring it into your body. For the love of God, please.
I need to make a comment. I need to make a comment real quick, Pat, because the whole idea, and if you're late joining the show, what Pat and I are doing, we're breaking down all 5 of Bo Nix's incompletions because we're trying to steer into the skid of like people who don't think that Bo Nix is good enough. And as I'm watching these, Pat, the last 2 incompletions, if I may break character here, they're not even his fault. It's like the last one, it was a really good stunt. Offensive line didn't pick it up. He's throwing the ball away. Can't really put it on Bo. He did the right thing. And this is a drop pass.
Yeah.
So it's like of the 3 incompletions, 3 of the 5 incompletions that we have covered thus far, and we're like actively trying to point out blame for Bo.
Yeah.
There's no blame to give to Bo on either of these last 2 plays. That's how actually good he is.
The last one maybe.
Back to character.
Yeah, back to character. Bo, what the fuck are you doing here? Okay, you've got one defender over here. You've got one defender, one receiver. Pump fake and run this bitch. Well, like you've got all this.
We just want him to run more.
Grass. You've got all this open grass. Marvin Mims cleared out the flat for you, and Jesse Bates is covering Adam Fishman. And just pump this ball and fucking run, baby. You got all this over. Yeah, Jesse Bates is not going Jesse Bates is not going to catch you. Look at him. He's
Adam Troutman looking like Adam Salmon Man there.
Oh, geez. Don't disrespect salmon. It's an elite fish. No, this was a high IQ play by Bo. Really good sit down by Troutman. Just like this is one of those plays where you have got to execute it. Right. And it sucks. It sucks. But then they do execute on the next one. The little Jordan Humphrey fumble, not fumble, maybe fumble, all that shit.
I'm going to be honest with you, Pat. I'm shocked that wasn't an incomplete pass. I think we got
it was definitely.
I will take.
Nope. No. It was a catch. It was a catch, it was a fumble, and it was recovered. You can click like they.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, what's his name? Was it
Okay.
Blandino or was it Terry on the
I don't know.
broadcast?
I was at the game. We were all
He was
kind of waited
saying
on bated breath, and everyone
so.
was kind of agreeing when they showed the replay that it was incomplete.
So
But again,
when he first came on,
I thought it was 2 feet and a football move.
it's 3
We saw
steps.
2 feet.
So it's 3 steps. When he catches the ball, his foot is on the ground, so that counts as a
Listen,
step.
Pat, I'm not
Look,
complaining. I'm just saying I was surprised. Okay.
listen,
You know what wasn't a surprise? You know what wasn't a surprise, Pat? The fact that it was Lil Jordan Humphrey that dropped the ball, but at least
Jesus.
he got his
You
own
and
fumble.
every
Okay.
other motherfucker. No,
He should redeem himself later.
the rules guy came on immediately when it happened, and he was like, I don't know how they reversed this call. I don't know what. And then they showed it again, and he was like, oh, well, yeah, when he catches the ball, he does have his foot on the ground, so that does technically count as a catch, blah, blah, blah. So shut the fuck up, Mario. It was a 4th down conversion, and it was big ball Bo Nix making that fucking play. All right? Don't slander our sweet king, Lil Jordan Humphrey, because he ain't that little. And you know what I'm talking about.
Puts the hump in Humphrey for you, eh, bud?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. This is another incompletion to Cortland. Broncos run. This is kind of something that they've run. They're running this little lead. It looks like it's going to be like split zone or wham. One of these concepts where they're going to motion this guy, get him a head start. This is your boy Nate Adkins, by the way, tight end 2.
Is that fullback? Is that fullback 1, Nate Adkins?
Listen, I'm not going to fucking argue with you about this.
Is that the best fullback on the team, Nathan Adkins? The Nate Adkins? I like him.
So they do show split zone. Okay. Now Court's going to run a little burst corner. What is this? Sorry, really quick. Didn't catch this.
Justin, looks like Justin. Was that Justin or Bates?
I think this is Bates. This is illegal contact. That is past 5 yards, sir. But I digress. That also should have been illegal contact.
Game, yeah.
But whatever. So Bo gets pressure. They bring a little heat. Who let it go? Oh, they brought a guy late. That's why. But he felt it. This is the thing. This is what makes Bo Nix so fun is he feels this pressure. He feels it. He sees it coming inside, and then
he feels the guy coming. He feels the guy coming on his back. Pause.
I can't believe you just said that on air. Now,
I don't know how you're perceiving
this actually is not. I do not love this rep from Bo. This is like legitimately.
Honestly, Pat, this is probably his.
This is probably one of the worst ones. So they bring the heat.
Who does he have in the middle of the field, wide fucking open, that could have sauntered into the end zone? For Troy.
Now, Landman.
I remember seeing this play. We were way up high, and we could see this, and we saw Troy kind of break wide open, and we're yelling, pointing at him. Yeah. And if we can see it, Bo needs to see it. Another inexcusable incompletion for Bo.
But this goes back to the other that other deep incompletion, right? Where your eyes are stuck. Your eyes are stuck on that one route. Get your eyes off the route. Scan. Like you're already leaving the pocket. Get your eyes off the route. Look to what else you have. Now, we've seen him make this throw before. We saw him do it in Baltimore. We saw him do it against
and honestly, the thing is with this throw, Pat, in all honesty, he can make it because there is no one within 12 yards of Troy Franklin. He can shot put this thing as long as he puts it in Franklin's general vicinity. Neither of the safeties are going to be able to break down on it. And Troy Franklin catches it and runs it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if Bo Nix went behind the back here to Troy Franklin? The whole goddamn internet would have shut down.
We need him to go behind the back now.
This could have been, and look at where Landman's eyes are. when he comes off of this. He's looking right at just a little.
Let's give it a little flipperoo. Yeah. Just tap it in there.
But I mean, he ends up skipping it through the back of the end zone. Hate to see it because I do like the concept, and I like the concept against what they called. Just got to execute this a little bit better. Let's look at the tight. Okay, so we're getting a little slide here to the left with Solo on the front side. We're gonna play action this bitch. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to have a free rusher somewhere. Okay. Javonte does a good job pushing this guy in. Adkins does a good job of pushing his guy in. You got the free rusher. Here he comes, right? Bo's eyes still just right on Cortland the whole time. Never once does he come off it. Never once. Now, maybe he heard footsteps. Like that's the only thing. Like, he's looking this way, though. Can't help but think Troy's got to be in this window somewhere, right?
Glanced over there, Pat. And I wonder if it's just like, I'm wondering if his mindset is he's making the safe play here. You're in the red zone. Do you want to throw crossbody as you're rolling to the right? It's obviously not the best thing to do.
Let's also look at
but
where
he
Troy
skips that ball.
is.
It's like this is a deliberate incomplete pass at the time of the attempt. But Troy Franklin is open for a very long time.
So that in that moment when he looks, which is right here, okay, this is where he looked this way.
He can make this throw.
And this would be my criticism for Troy. This would be my coaching point for Troy. More urgency. Get into the throwing lane. He is out of the pocket. Scream across the field. Don't saunder. Don't just jaunt across. Don't just like, yeah, I got the backside in. Like, oh, he left the pocket. All right, I'm just gonna keep. No, get on your horse. Get across the field, get into the throwing window, because you know that the inside route is going outside. You're going inside. You have to be the one to flow. You have to be the one to flow and get into the throwing window. You only got 3 receivers on this concept. You've got to be one of the options. So he finally does get into the throwing window, but it's way too late, right? So that would be my criticism for the other receiver, for the other player, but this was a bad rep by Bo. Got to get off that. Get off that read, make something else happen, or just throw this away. Please, for the love of God, live to see another down.
Last incompletion, that was actually pretty quick.
It was pretty quick. Let's take a look at this.
They're difficult to find.
Okay, so what do we got here, Mario? Well, we got a little 2x2 set. Okay, this is going to be if you're the linebacker, we're saying, hey, strong left. Okay, we got a stack up at the top of the screen here. This looks like Lil Jordan Humphrey and Vele. We got Court down here. So this is an interesting setup. You've got our X down here, our Y lined up. We've got presumably our Z and our F. And this looks like it could be Javonte or Estime. Can't really tell there from the angle. Looks like it's Estime. Oh boy. This is what is this call? This is smoke. Stack smoke. Okay. We're gonna go stack smoke left. All right. And then this is screen the whole way. So this is a little.
Let me ask you something here, Pat. Who is it that just whiffed on that block that almost led to an interception? Is that? Well, my God, that's Lil Jordan Humphrey. I don't believe it.
I'm gonna punch you in
trying to block a corner who is 30 pounds lighter and probably 4 inches shorter than him. And he barely gets his left nutsack on him.
Now, yes, look.
This
is multi-layered, okay? Yes, that's a bad block attempt by Lil Jordan Humphrey, okay? We got to do better than this. I mean, he's leaving you his whole body. We got to get wide here. My criticism is, I mean, he is wide, just loses his leverage right away. Now, where Bo is throwing this ball, though, Vele is right here, and the ball goes right here. That's not a good throw. Sorry to say, that's not a good throw. These screens have to be very quick.
Bo needs to play with the anticipation here, Pat. He's got to recognize that Lil Jordan Humphrey is out there, and the play is going to rely on him blocking. He's got to be able to anticipate the fact that Lil Jordan Humphrey is not going to be able to make that block, and that this play is going to get blown up. Bo Nix, cognitively, he needs to do better, okay? What Bo Nix is doing here, it's unacceptable. He has to have the foreshadowing ability, okay, to be able to see that this block is going to be missed and that it should have been intercepted. Tuck and run, baby. Lamar Jackson would have done it. You go ahead and do it, Bo.
Well, no, because this is an RPO double screen, okay? So he has multiple options here. This should not have been thrown. In all honesty, when we're pressed right here and you see, you're looking at this guy. This is our key right here.
Even if LJH makes this block though, Pat, you're right. Like this is not what you want to see. And this screenshot right here, so everyone knows, this is what Bo is reading right now. This is what Bo is seeing.
If this is
the defender is 2 yards away from Vele.
If this is Demaryius Thomas was probably one of my favorite screen runners to watch. And why is that, Mario? Because he attacked the ball as the screen guy. When they ran smoke screens and tunnel screens, he was coming down to the ball, which some coaches will say, no. Other coaches will say, yeah, that's fine, because it shortens the distance between you and the ball. Okay. Vele has to do a better job here of attacking the ball. Losing ground. We cannot do this. This is a no-no. You cannot be losing ground unless it is specifically designed. You are not to be losing ground in this situation. And in fact, one could say that Vele actually contributes to this play being incomplete because he loses ground. He allows more separation. Lil Jordan kind of got away with a hold there. I'm not going to say it. But at the bottom of the screen, we have a screen set up right here. Pump that bitch and come back and work your other side because you had a screen set up over on this side. Worst case scenario, you throw it in the fucking dirt. You live to see another play. But this is a near interception. That is not just Bo Nix's fault. It's not just Lil Jordan Humphrey's fault. It's not just Vele's fault. This is a team effort right here. Okay. But all that to say, Bo, what the fuck? What are you doing out there? Are you even using your eyes? Are you even looking at what you're like? What are you doing? This is why, as the 12th overall pick, this was a waste of a pick. We could have had Byron Murphy. Okay. We could have had anyone else, but instead we take this guy. What the hell are we doing? Sean, what the fuck?
Who can't even throw as many touchdowns as he can in completions. It's pathetic.
Ridiculous.
In all honesty, Pat, and let's kind of wrap this up here. It was a little bit difficult to be so disingenuous. Again, if you were a little bit late, Pat and I were accentuating the 5 incompletions that Bo Nix threw because we keep getting told that Bo Nix is not the guy, is not him. There's plenty of media members out there who want to hold so strong to their initial evaluation of Bo that they refuse to believe that he's a great quarterback. So Pat and I had some fun at their expense, but let's talk about this game really quick, and then we'll do bricked up and tell everyone what got us really excited. The bottom line, Pat, and something that you and I have kind of been discussing, and something that I've been almost demanding of this team for the last several months, is that they need to put together an entire 4 quarters. We have seen, up until this point, we've seen a good 1 quarter, 2 quarters, even 3 quarters. Until Sunday, they had not yet played a complete game on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And something that we begged for is to please, for the love of God, play a complete game. Well, Pat, on Sunday, that was exactly what they did. All 4 quarters, the game was entirely in hand. It was never out of hand. It was the perfect game. They finally string together all 4 quarters. Offense, defense, special teams. Everything was fantastic. And the reason that I want to call attention to this, are the Falcons the best team? No. They're a middle of the road, above average team on most days. Historically, they will have stinkers like this. Historically, Kirk Cousins will have stinkers like this. And again, not to be lost in the shuffle of how great the offense was, the defense was, of course, unbelievable. The reason that it is so important for me, Pat, and for all of Broncos country that this team plays a full 4 quarters of football is because if they do, they're not just a playoff team. They are a team that can maybe make some noise in the playoffs and probably not this year, but will eventually become a Super Bowl contender. It doesn't matter who you are playing in this league, okay? If the Broncos can play a game like they did on Sunday against any given opponent, from pillar to post, they are capable of beating anybody. And that is the first time that we have been able to say that about a Broncos team since they won the Super Bowl. You cannot reasonably sit here and tell me in the last 10 years that if a team plays to their capability, and it's not like they did anything fantastic or unbelievable. You know, they only had the 1 turnover on defense. It was just a solid, perfectly scripted, perfectly executed game. This is the game that we have been begging for, and they need to continue to build off of this.
Yeah.
But this is what we have come to expect, and it circles back to what you and I discussed at the very beginning, where when we said back in August that their ceiling was 10, 11 wins, it was because of things like this, that not just Bo Nix is progressing, but the entire team is starting to gel as one cohesive unit. For the last 10 years, Pat, it's been the defense playing their asses off and just hoping and praying that the offense can put points on the board.
Yeah.
Finally now, it seems like they have an offense that can score points. They need to do it more consistently. They need to have fewer lulls, but this is the perfect example of what they are capable of. And these should realistically be our expectations because they have proven to us that this is what they are capable of doing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been a long time coming. It's been the whole goddamn season. And like this was a team coming in, you know, top 5 offense. You know, defense wasn't great, but they still weren't terrible. Like on the road, if people looked at what they've been able to do on the road, like they're not a terrible road team defensively, but it's still like this was the most complete game that we've seen. Run game was working. I loved the play calling on the offensive side. I loved the play calling on the defensive side. It was great. It was a fully complete game. And we saw Bo converting third down, not just converting third downs, but like converting those third downs that he wasn't converting early on in the season. And it's really great to see, like, for all the shit that this kid has gotten, you know, on social media and from the mainstream media, like all the jokes and all the fucking like, oh, the Broncos are going to stink. They're going to be unwatchable. Like they're going to be picking first in the NFL. Like, dude, how nice is it to see Bo Nix just come out and shut people up with such a dominant performance? Is Nix's ceiling a top 5, 10 quarterback in the NFL? Oh, that's tough.
It's premature right now. I mean,
I would say top
it's easy
12.
for us to say because of how he's playing right now.
If you give him a
appreciate
T.
the question,
Higgins,
Kodiak Broncos podcast, and that's exactly what I was going to say, Pat. I think, you know, we want to temper our expectations because being considered a top 5 to top 10 quarterback in the league, it's incredibly lofty. Bo Nix is certainly on the correct trajectory. Okay, you have to hope that he's not a flash in the pan. You have to hope that he's not a one and done. You have to hope that he doesn't have a sophomore year regression, kind of like what we're seeing out of CJ Stroud. Not that CJ Stroud has been bad, but he's falling well short of like expectations after his rookie year. That shit happens all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not ready to say that right now, but I will say if the Broncos are able to add a definitive number one stud wide receiver, a T. Higgins, like Pat had said, who, for all intents and purposes is going to be a free agent at the end of the season, and they need to do absolutely everything they can to bring him in. You add him some more weapons, you get him a consistent running game. Because it's not just the quarterback. And I think this is what people fail to realize. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. You can make the argument that he's the best quarterback in the league. He also has the best offensive mind calling him plays. He's had the best tight end in football for several years. In the years where he was putting up the Star Wars numbers that really made him famous, he had a Tyreek Hill. And now we see that without those weapons and with an aging Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes is kind of just a guy right now. So a lot can happen when you have weapons, and you can lose those things when you lose those weapons. Basically, what I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes is a game manager.
Highlight this comment. Right? Okay, listen. Every quarterback should be a game manager. If you think a quarterback is not a game manager, I can't say the word.
It's an arbitrary term.
If my quarterback can't manage the game, if I have to manage the game for him, get me a different quarterback. Here's what I found. Oh, Siri even agrees. Highlight this comment by Chris Collins right now. Why did Bo Nix have 295 yards? Because he got sacked once for 12 yards. And for some fucking dumb reason, the NFL has decided that sack yards will count against a quarterback's passing yards. I do not agree with it whatsoever, but that is the way that they calculate it. So there you go. There's your explanation.
And then, and I want to pull attention to this too, because Dak had asked me, and Dak, shout out to you, man. Dak watches every single show. He's easily one of our best fans. We appreciate you so much for tuning in every week, bro. Ceiling, if I remember, Mario and I chatted about, is win Super Bowls. That's it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
That's the end game.
That should be every single player's conceived ceiling. And quarterback is going to have the most to do with that. But yeah, I'm less concerned about him being a top 5, top 10 quarterback. I'm more concerned about him being a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. And we can see the two are not one and the same. Because it's I don't care what anybody's trying to say, Pat. Brock Purdy is not a top 10 quarterback, but he is a Super Bowl quarterback. He made it to a Super Bowl. And so if everything is going to come together, and what have we said about Brock Purdy? He's in the perfect situation in San Francisco. He found the perfect coach. Kyle Shanahan found the perfect quarterback, and it was a match made in heaven. Now, all that shit is about to blow up because they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy, and they're not going to be able to afford everybody. And Ayuk is hurt, and Deebo Samuel's probably on his way out. And I'm just saying, that window is pretty much shut now. The point
I was called crazy.
Listen, that is a quarterback head coach match, and that's why it worked. Mahomes and Andy Reid, that is a quarterback head coach match. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, the list goes on and on, okay? So when you're talking about a guy being a top 5, top 10 quarterback, a Super Bowl quarterback, Bo has the tools. But it's hard to say that a lot of quarterbacks don't. It's why they're in the NFL. Are they in the proper system? Are they throwing to the correct people? Is the head coach and the offensive coordinator, are they doing everything possible to put the quarterback and the team in a position to win? And it feels like because this was Sean Payton's handpicked guy, that this was who he wanted from day one, now we see why. Because he has molded him into exactly what he wants. This is the same head coach, Pat, that had Russell Wilson, who is likely a Hall of Famer. If not, he's a Hall of Very Gooder. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson did not look nearly as good in this offense. And I don't want to see stats. I don't want to see anything like that. Show me your eye test. Yeah. Bo Nix has so much more control over this offense than Russell Wilson did. It's not even funny. Okay. Oh, yeah. Russell Wilson had a better offensive line blocking for him. He had more weapons. The defense was still playing well last year after the first several games. The point is he fits well into this system. So as long as these two continue to grow and mesh, because Bo Nix's growth has as much to do with Bo Nix as it does with Sean Payton. And as long as these two stay on the same page and they are able to be copacetic and continue to grow in their quarterback-coach relationship, I think his ceiling can be a top 5, top 10 quarterback. and I think his ceiling can be a Super Bowl contender and possibly a Super Bowl champion. But it's going to depend completely on if they're able to continue to grow. Is this a Super Bowl team right now? It's not, Pat. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I hope that they surprise me, and if they play the rest of their games the way that they did on Sunday, maybe I change my tune. But like I said earlier in the show, we want to be realistic. They're not quite there yet. But the fact that they look this good in a fucking rebuilding year should have everyone absolutely ecstatic. And I guarantee you, for the next 10 years, the league will be on notice as long as this trend continues in Denver.
Hey, Rome wasn't built in a day, baby. Okay. It took Sean Payton some time to turn things around down in New Orleans. Okay. And it's going to take some time to turn things around here. Like, are they going to be a Super Bowl team in 2 years? Probably not. They'll probably be competing in the divisional round. They'll probably, maybe if they get to a conference championship, that'll be massive, right? But there's a lot of things that need to happen before we talk about them being a Super Bowl contending team. Now, that's not to say that there aren't things that are on the checklist that like have been checked off already, right? Can he run? So if I'm Sean Payton, I'm looking down my checklist of Super Bowl needs. Okay, a quarterback, the check. Okay, I got the quarterback that I wanted. Check. Okay, can he run the system? Well, through 11 games, he can run the system. They've expanded the playbook far beyond what Russell was able to run last year. So, check. Okay. Do we have a elite wide receiver on this team? No, we don't. Not yet. Okay. Do we have a reliable vertical tight end that can stretch the field? No, we don't have that yet. Do we have an established run game with veteran running back? Not really. We're not going to count Javonte at this point. Sorry, y'all, we're not counting it yet. Okay, but it's close. It's very, very close. And so I think as Sean Payton's just going to work down that list, and he's just going to check a box. Bo Nix, you said it perfectly. The only person that can make Bo Nix into a top 10 quarterback in the NFL is Bo Nix. Sean Payton is just going to hand him the playbook and be like, all right, this is what you need to do. And it's up to Bo Nix whether he wants to execute the playbook or pull a Paxton Lynch and go just spam COD for the next fucking 6 months, right? I fully believe that Bo Nix has the work ethic. I fully believe that the team has bought in. I mean, he's a captain as a rookie. That's massive, and actually voted on by his teammates, not just a show C on the chest like another certain quarterback that was a Denver Bronco. And the team is bought in around him. We got all the guys talking about his leadership on and off the field. He's appearing in fucking TikToks with the other quarter. Like, this is the guy that the Broncos wanted. And I feel like on and off the field, he is going to be the guy. So is he going to win a Super Bowl as a Denver Bronco? Don't know. It's hard to win a Super Bowl, y'all. This is not just Madden.
Very hard.
It's not Madden. We can't, just like turn off the salary cap and
Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback to have ever lived. Argue with your mom. He won 2 Super Bowls in his entire career, one of which
was not because of him. Like, it was not because of him. It was the worst quarterback.
Like you see the Tom Brady's and you see the Chiefs recently really effing hard. Ask the 49ers how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. They've consistently had probably the best team over the last 5 years, 0 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So you're right. We got to temper our expectations because out of 32 teams, only one team can win the Super Bowl. It's really fucking hard. Speaking of hard.
Oh, great segue. My goodness.
You know what reminds me of being hard?
What is that? What is that?
This is bricked Oh, we're back.
Bricked up.
And I, the Mile High Meatheads, tell you what got us bricked up from this past weekend. Pat, would you like to go first and tell these lovely
Yeah.
people what got you rock hard this weekend?
A couple things got me bricked up. Okay. Mm. Mm. Okay. This one gave me an absolute boner. This is just sick shit here by our Lord and Savior Sean Payton, who, by the way, is too old and his offensive scheme is so washed. Let's see what else. What am I? Oh, he's a fucking pillhead. Keep him coming. Allegedly, the game has passed him by. He's gonna be back on Fox. He's going to be back on Fox in 2025. Whatever.
He only. How about this one? He only took the Broncos job because it was the only one available. He wanted to be the Chargers coach, but they didn't have an opening. He just wanted to be a head coach again.
He's the Broncos' 415th choice. The list goes on.
He's a Zen addict.
Yeah. He's a fucking Zen head. Okay, this is sicko. This is sicko shit. So we've got two backs technically in here. This is Adam Troutman in the backfield, and this is Marvin Mims in the backfield. Sicko shit. Okay, what we're gonna see here is we're gonna get a little underneath by Cortland Sutton. We're gonna get some max protect in here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys blocking 1, 2, looks like 3 guys, honestly. They're going to sit in, it looks like this is supposed to be some kind of man or match coverage. Not really sure what the Falcons are running here. It's man because
can you explain to me what these 3 gentlemen in the middle of the field are doing? Because they're kind of just conglomerating, having a little powwow, just hanging out.
So it's man coverage. Okay, it's man coverage across the board, and I can tell because of the way that AJ Terrell down here at the bottom of the screen reacts to Cortland Sutton coming across. This is a little bit of confusion. They're showing a sim pressure, okay, and 2 guys in the backfield. The Mike is supposed to take one of these 2 guys, and I think he just gets a little lost. Okay, so they're showing pressure, they drop off. Okay, he drops into a little flat. He drops into a little hook curl. Okay, he's presumably going to drop out here into the flat. And then we're going to be match. We're going to be match. We're going to be match. Okay, but the linebacker gets a little confused. He's supposed to take one of these 2 guys, and he does not know who he's taking. This is good old. Is that?
He thinks he has help over top.
This is Ellis. Okay. So he's supposed to be taking one of those 2 guys in the backfield. Okay. Presumably it's supposed to be Mims. If I were to be a betting man, I would say that his responsibility is to drop and then take anything outside. Okay. So what the Broncos are going to do here is a very, very nice concept. So we're just going to run deep. We're going to run deep. We're going to run a little shallow cross right here to take the attention of the linebackers. And then we're going to leak out our back right up the numbers here. And it's perfect. This works perfectly because it's man coverage. So they have man on the outside. If it's vert, he's got it. He's got it taken. Okay. Clears everything for the wheel. When I saw this live, I was bricked up to the point where I was about to bust the windows out of my house. Okay. The sliding glass door would just blow to smithereens. Okay. This was a beautiful throw, an anticipation throw. As soon as he saw the corner leave and this linebacker who's supposed to be in the flat just sit down. Okay. His eyes are in the backfield. He's eye fucking Bo right now. He's looking sultry into his eyes like, oh yeah, I'm going to pick this off. This is going to be a nice little. Not so fast, my friend.
Is he expecting a swing pass here? Like I'm very confused what your boy was doing.
He's just supposed to be sitting in this flat right here. So he doesn't know that Marvin Mims went up the sideline because he just let him go. His just eye fucking Bo. And he tries to, I don't know what this is, frame this, put this on your wall, buddy, because This is awful. But this is a beautiful throw by Bo. Gets Marvin Mims the ball with a full head of steam. This is how we should have been using Marvin Mims
doesn't have to slow down at all.
This is how they should have been using him the whole goddamn time. And if you watch the show with Broncos Amir, and I was baked out of my mind, and I was sitting here thinking like, we've got to, like, this is how we have to use Marvin Mims. And you guys were like, okay, Pat, fucking crazy guy. No,
high ass Pat and his high ass ideas,
high as fuck. And guess what? Sean Payton's been using it the last 3 weeks, and boy howdy, this got me. Say it with me, bricked up. Okay.
All right, let's do my breakdown. Do you have my play? Go ahead and pull my play up. And then the last one, we will end on the play that got every single member of Broncos country.
Remind me which one it was. We have it.
It was the Patrick Surtain play.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
I'll set the mood here for everybody while Pat looks for the play. Pat, you let me know when you've got it.
I think it's this one.
Going into the season, there was discussion about, is Patrick Surtain the best cornerback in the league? And if we're being reasonable, if we're being charitable, you could make arguments for other cornerbacks in the league. One of the DBs that I had heard, who actually himself told us all that he is the best corner in the league, was Sauce Gardner. Something that got me unbelievably bricked up. Full on 6 to midnight. When I saw this in person, I jumped out of my chair and I slapped the person next to me because I was so bricked up and I had to exert myself somehow. We have Patrick Surtain blowing up a block and yanking down Lil Ray McLeod with one arm. Did I say Rain Man? Whatever. Well, he looked pretty stupid on this play, but not in a special way.
I don't know.
This is not a play. This is not a play that 99.9% of cornerbacks make. The majority of corners are getting blocked. And even the ones that don't, it's like maybe you get a hand on the receiver. Maybe you slow him down. Go ahead and run this, Pat.
Well, Zach Robinson.
Ray McLeod is not in full speed, but Ray is running. Patrick Surtain is at a dead stop because he's coming off of a block. He grabs Ray McLeod with one hand.
Oh, Mario.
And
he's not stopped.
Him out.
He's not stopped. This is Darnell Mooney out here. I don't hate this concept. I hate this concept when you're asking Darnell Mooney to block Pat in second.
Pat, run the play, please.
Now, he blows up Darnell Mooney. This is grown man football. This is grown man football. He said, y'all know the meme. Y'all know the dark side meme with Superman. He said, get over here. Get over here. Hold his ass down. This is just superior cornerback play. We have a saying. We don't block corners because corners can't tackle. Pat Surtain can tackle. Okay. He blows this. This is embarrassing. Somebody said somebody on Twitter last week said we don't need Rome Odunze, talking about the Falcons taking Rome Odunze in the first round instead of Michael Penis Jr. We don't need Rome Odunze.
Everyone knows they should have drafted Jared Verse, but that's another conversation for another day.
We have Rome Odunze at home, and it was a picture of Darnell Mooney. Yeah, okay.
That's adorable. And look, I like Darnell Mooney, but after this play, he should have just gone and sat his silly ass on the bench and said, I'm done for the day.
Well, he did, kind of. I mean, that's embarrassing.
The concept is not bad. And if Pat doesn't make this play, that's probably a decent game. And not only does he stop him, he completely stops his. Is this 2nd and 1, Pat?
Yes. This is.
And if I remember correctly, they did not get a first down on this play.
This is insane.
They didn't get a first down on this play, Pat.
No.
This should have been an easy, at the very minimum. It's like, okay, it's a short completion. It's a decent concept. Didn't work as well as we thought, but at least we got a first down.
I'm sorry.
He ripped him backwards and held him short of the first down. And I wanted to call attention to like this play in specific, and just because I wanted to call attention to the defense, it cannot go understated how unbelievably good the defense was. This Falcons offense is good. They completely shut down Bijan Robinson. They shut down Drake London. I think Ray McLeod was their leading wide receiver. Moody may as well have not even been on the field. Oh, and by the way, Pat, in addition to this, it has been brought to my attention that Patrick Surtain gave up exactly 0 receiving yards.
Mario, he is 8 yards. He's about 10 yards away from the ball here. He's a
good 13, 14 yards away.
This is insane play strength. He pushes. He just shoves Darnell. Like that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing for Darnell Mooney. But then the strength to grab him with one arm and just yank him down. Whoa!
Ball never crosses the first down marker. Unreal. And here's the thing, Pat. Like we're gonna get bricked up over interceptions and big hits and sacks and stuff like that. This is the kind of play that it's just gonna show up in the stat sheet as a tackle.
Yeah.
But you cannot say enough good things about this play. Patrick Surtain might be the only cornerback on the planet currently who is making that play the way that he did.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I don't think there's anyone else.
For our grand finale, Pat, of Bricked Up on tonight's episode, will you please be so kind as to pull up by far the best, the sexiest, the most loin-engorging throw that we have seen from Bo Nix to date? I cannot oversell this, Pat. Oh, no, this is not it. Pull up the throw. The seam to Vele.
Oh, we were finishing with this. Okay, that's fine. That's
we
fine.
are finishing with the greatest throw that Bo Nix has made all year.
Ein Moment.
And while Pat looks for it, and I just want to set the stage for it. This is not a throw that he attempts a couple weeks ago, Pat.
No.
This is what gets me the most bricked up about Bo Nix, and there's a lot, okay?
Yeah. This is
not a throw that he is attempting. When he threw this ball from my vantage point, I thought that this was picked by Jesse Bates. Because I was told, Pat, that Bo Nix did not have the arm strength to fit tight window balls into downfield throws. That's what I was told.
Yep.
But what does he do here, Pat? He fits a tight window throw downfield.
This angle just doesn't even do it justice. We got to see it from the tight.
And Jesse Bates made the joke that they watched Bo Nix in college for 10 years. Maybe he should have watched a little bit more film, could have anticipated this a little bit better.
Yeah, that was a dumb comment by Jesse Bates because, well, what the fuck is going on? Because Bo Nix just absolutely made him his bitch on this throw. I don't know what's going on. It's not letting me do the tight, but that was a crazy throw. That was an insane throw. I think that like it definitely shows where Bo is kind of grown. He's trusting himself a little bit more, but he's also trusting his receivers a lot more as well. Like this is NFL pro just decides to not fucking play the tape. This is a great example of him growing as a passer and just growing as a professional. It's a play, like you said, he's not making this play early on in the season. He's not.
So keep an eye on Vele here. Is this it, Pat? Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on Vele here. Is in the slot at the top of the screen.
This is a great route by Vele. Pushes the
little outside in.
They're playing a little zone. He's got a little seam here. Tim Jenkins called this a post. I don't think this is a post. It could be.
It's more of a seam than a post, I think.
Yeah, but he plays the leverage perfectly. Okay, and Justin's backing up. Jesse Bates tries to cheat this and undercut it, and he's so late on it. I don't know what he was thinking. Probably could have had a better play if he came like right around here, but instead he tries.
Honestly, he has a better play if he goes for a hit, Pat. Like if he just goes straight to the body instead of playing the ball, then we're not talking about this.
Then
play.
he's.
But again, so maybe he thought what we all thought, and that Bo Nix can't make this throw. He said, "There's no way. How? What is the air yards on this throw, Pat? It was about 35-ish yards from where he throws it to where it's caught.
Let's go with the 25. It's caught at the 45. So 25, 30 air yards, 30 yards
on a line
rope, just a rope.
That is one of the most difficult throws to make in the NFL. But if you can make this throw, you are a high caliber NFL quarterback, because it's not just the ability to make this throw, Pat. It's the fucking balls to let this rip on Jesse Bates, who is arguably the best safety in the league, one of the best playmakers on defense in the NFL. And he punked him on this play because Jesse Bates thought there was no way that Bo Nix was fitting that ball into that tight spot.
We're just going to have to watch it like this. This is another bad snap, by the way. You said it perfectly. Like this is a great throw. He's super patient, gets to the bottom of his drop and just lets this bitch rip. Like one hitch, boom, ball's out. And look at the throwing technique here. I mean, this is perfect. Arms in tight. We get good rotation.
Drives off that back foot.
Drives off of it. Follows through so well. This is clean. Look at the spiral on that bitch. That's a tight. That is a tight boy. That gets me bricked up just looking at that, because this is exactly where we want it to be as well. 1, 2, 3 guys right in the middle of that triangle, right there. It's a perfect throw. Absolutely beautiful dime. Great read by Bo here. He read cover 2. Jesse Bates tried to think he was slick. Brother, please. He's been one of my favorite safeties to watch in the league for the last couple of years, but this was a bad play on his part. You're trying to do too much here. And if this is, anyone else, this is probably a house call. Okay. If this is someone with a little more juice, this is a house call, because there's nobody. And good Lord, Devon, let's use our eyes here. Okay. Get the fucking angle, please. Get the fucking angle. Don't go straight upfield. Keep going, right? Love the catch. Love the throw. Absolutely bricked up. What a dot. What a game by Bo Nix. Bosif, kudos. Good job.
Anything else before we let these people go? That was fantastic. We went way over, but as long as we're talking about the greatness of one Bosif Nix, I see no problem with that. Oh, shout out to Pat, who on the Believe Network just added the incomparable Bree Maestas as his co-host for Believe in the Broncos. 2 of my absolute favorite people. If you haven't checked out their show, just when you thought that a show that Pat did with the Chris Harris Jr., the one and only Chris Harris Jr., just when you thought that show couldn't get any better, Patrick goes out and adds Bree Maestas. And let me tell you guys, if you haven't seen them, they are unbelievable together. Pat is my favorite co-host. Bree is my favorite guest to have on the show. 2 of my absolute favorite people, period, and also favorite people to do podcasts and shows with. They are going to make magic in the most appropriate way. So make sure you check them out on Believe in the Broncos. Where and when can we watch that show, Pat?
Every week we'll be coming out with new episodes. I'm very happy that Bree agreed to be my co-host, because the show was getting really boring with me just yapping for 30 minutes. She's awesome. She does a great job. She's one of the best in the business for a reason. But I mean, as far as, you know, what I have left to say, I think if this team can just keep stacking wins, this is going to be a playoff team. This is going to be a 10-win team for sure. I said this on the post-game show on Bleacher Report. The last thing that this, you know, the thing that should be on this team's mind every day is just win the day. Just win the day. And it's an old, you're going to roast me for this, but it's an old Oregon Duck slogan, right? Just win the day. Whether it's practice, whether it's you know, walkthrough, whether it's film, whether it's game day, just win the day. And if this team can just keep stacking those days, stacking those practices, stacking those wins, November, December, meaningful football, playoff team. Count it. Book it.
Nothing to add. That's, yeah, you're
Nothing.
absolutely right. That's perfect. Thank you all so much for watching. My name's Mario Vitanzi. That handsome bastard is Patrick Chiotti. This has been Altitude Adjustment, and we'll be back here, same back time, same back channel next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We love you, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the